I have this post for the spiritual blog, and it's self-esteem, how we value self-esteem, but how self-esteem can lead us to self-acceptance or self-deception. So think about self-esteem. Most self-esteem starts by being accepted by others. We're polite, we're nice, we're dependable, we show up on time, we take care of our friends, we're honest, we're truthful, we're genuine, we do all the things we can to gain the acceptance of our community, our parents, our school teachers, our workmates. When it comes to an issue that arises that threatens to insult a relationship, to maybe admit to ourselves that something comes up that we like to do, but we know for certain that our parents would never agree, or we know our church pastors would never agree. So when we're dealing with these types of issues, we start bringing self-deception because we want to keep peace, because we want to maintain our self-esteem. So because our pastor or our parents may look at what we've done and look at us negatively, we then may deliberately deceive ourselves by deceiving them. So we say, oh, I don't really feel that way. That's not true. I don't want to let anyone know that I really feel that way. So you begin hiding that, which becomes deception. If, however, you recognize that self-esteem is not under your control, it's under the control of others. So, how do you know whether or not your self-esteem is actually leading you to self-acceptance or leading you to self-deception? Well, the first thing that you need to have something that triggers a conflict. There has to be an action that triggers an anxiety or a worry about what so-and-so will think, or what might they say about me, or what might they reveal about me, or whatever it is. Whenever a triggering event happens that makes us uncomfortable potentially with ourselves, what is the first thing that we think? If we think, uh-oh, what will so-and-so think of me? What if this happens? What if this is true? Like, why do I want to do this? I don't really want to do this because I know I'm not supposed to want to do this, but I really do want to do this, but I don't want to let anyone know that I want to do this. So, in that, you're lying to yourself. Instead of that, saying, yes, I do want to do this. So first, accept the fact that you want to do something. And if you say, no, I don't want to accept that I want to, just accept the fact, the simple fact, that you're not being honest with yourself. Honest with yourself is paramount to having honesty within a community and within a society. So, when an issue comes up that's controversial, the first question you need to ask yourself is, am I in agreement with this? Absolutely. Or I completely am in disagreement, or I'm not sure. If you're not sure, make a note of that because you want to figure out how to become sure of that. But if you know something, absolutely, that this is who you are, and you say to yourself, this is the way I feel on this matter. Be honest with yourself first. And then, in public, never, ever, ever disagree with your own point. Always be in harmony with your own thoughts. Know your thoughts. And if you discover along the way that you've been constantly thinking that you should be going up, and all of a sudden you discover you needed to be going down, because you have inner integrity, you adjust your point of view. And then you make that the new rule. And you're not afraid to let go of the old rule. to hold on to the new rule, which you know is truth. So there's two ways to go. When some things start to happen in our world that unsettle us, we have the choice of what would everyone else think of me, and how should I act so that everyone around me keeps my self-esteem accurate. That's deception. When you sit and you say to yourself, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? Not how other people were going to think, not all those other things. They may influence your point of view. But first, you've got to know and be truthful and honest with yourself. Do I accept this as true? If it's true, you tell yourself it's true, and you never lie about that to anyone else at any time unless you change your mind, which you're able to do. Or number two, if you're not sure, you make a note of that because that's something you need to read about and study so that you can grow. Or you know the opposite. That is absolutely not where I am, and I don't agree with that, and I view that as not acceptable to me for my life rules. And that's the simple equation, if you will, for self-acceptance and for a better experience in life and more control of your own life. And you're not under the control of everything else and everybody else around you. You own your own space. A destination for those on the spiritual quest.